Army's counter-terror operation in Poonch recalls strikes in Hilkaka 18 years ago. Pakistani jihadists had turned village in Suryakont Tehsil, about 10 to 12 kilometers inside the LOC, into a militant stronghold that was finally destroyed in Operation Sar Vinash. The ongoing operation against militants hold up high in the Poonch ranges in the Jammu is the longest in the area since 2003. There is no clarity about how many militants the army is fighting and how long they have been hiding in the thick forests on the Pir Panjal spurs that overlook the districts of Poonch and Rajouri. Cross border infiltrations have long been known to use the Poonch Pir Panjal route to access South Kashmir, but they are not known to stay on in the area for long because of its mixed Hindu Muslim population that is hostile to both Pakistani and Kashmiri militants. This is the reason the possible presence of militants for weeks in the area has raised red flags in the security establishment. It has also evoked comparisons with a time when Poonch was a hotbed of militancy and a security nightmare. It took a long drawn operation in 2003 to clear out militants, but much longer to win over the local people. A base for Pakistan terrorists. The target of these operations was a place called Hilkaka. Scores of Pakistani militants had infiltrated across the line of control in Poonch and dug in the long hall at Hilkaka, a Vakerwal village in Suryan Kot Tehsil, about 10 to 12 kilometers inside the LOC. The Pakistani terrorists belonging to the Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, Al-Badr and some other groups had turned the village into a fortress of their own. They had converted hundreds of dhoke cattle sheds used by the Vakerwal for their animals on the steep slopes into bunkers reinforced with concrete and stone, built other fortifications including a hospital, and stored rations to feed 500 men for 2 months. Starting from 1999, the Pakistanis virtually ran a parallel administration in the area until 2003 when the army decided to flush them out. Crossing the snakes. There had been several encounters in the area before. The army carried out Operation Sarp Vinas between April and May 2003. The clearing of Hilkaka was the biggest counter-insurgency operation in Jammu and Kashmir until then. With memories of the 1999 Kargil war still fresh and the army recovering from Operation Parakram, the massive mobilization after the December 13, 2001 attack on Parliament, there were concerns that the terrorists in Hilkaka could interdict army logistics from reaching the LOC in case of an outbreak of hostilities with Pakistan. Preparations for an all-out assault began in 2003. The operation took place in a 150 square kilometer area between three major ridges on the western spurs of the Pir Panjal. Some 15,000 troops, the size of a division of three brigades, were involved in the operation that lasted about 2 weeks. Mi-17 helicopters were used to airlift troops to Hilkaka, and Lancer attack helicopters were used to bust concrete bunkers at high altitudes. According to the Indian Army, the total number of militants killed was 62. The troops were said to have recovered AK-47 rifles, Pika guns, sniper rifles, grenade launchers, self-loading rifles, explosives, and large number of radio sets and other communication equipments. The army lost 2 soldiers during the operation. The government of the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir paid a compensation package of 7.5 crore to the Bakerwal headers who were ordered to keep off the area. Unanswered questions. Later efforts were made to beef up the presence of civil administration in the area. Roads were built to provide connectivity. The army made special efforts to reach out to the Gujar Bakerwal population in the area. Many of the local people got work with the army as potters. The ongoing operation in Bhata Durijan of Balakot Tehsil of Poonch, which enters the 11th day on October 21, is much smaller than Sarvinas. The number of militants present in the area is thought to be no more than 8, if not fewer. But it is the first long standoff in the area since the time the Hilkaka remnants were mopped up. The possibility that in 2021 a group of terrorists has entrenched itself in the same area for over 2 months killed 9 security forces personnel and continue to evade. Citing has raised concerns that cross-border efforts are on to revive militancy in the area. Security officials said that the only after the area had been cleared would they be able to understand how long the militants had dug themselves in, how they had sustained themselves, how much, if any, local help they had received, how they had managed to evade detection. The area is well inside the LOC and is patrolled by Romeo Force, a division of Rashtriya Rifles. Thank you.